Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today to talk about another BT10 topic. We are here to talk about not only the reveal of Gallantmon, the last of the secret rares for the set, but we are also here to talk about the overall playstyle, or at least my interpretation of the playstyle, of the Royal Knight deck. Now, no, you're not mistaken. There are 25 level 6s in this deck, and only 8 level 4s in this deck. And even though it seems like a deck like this shouldn't work, it's actually, surprisingly, I have not found a really strong weakness to this deck. So, we'll go through the basic how this deck is supposed to operate. So, first and foremost, we have any combination of Royal Knights that you can put in this deck. Really, the key Royal Knights that you always want to make sure that are going to be in this deck, again, from my perspective, is Alphamon, Dynasmon, Lord Knightmon, Ganku, Gallant, and Omnimon. All the other ones, you have as much flexibility as you need. You can see I did not include UL4's Veedramon in mine, just because I didn't see it really as... I couldn't see it dealing with anything that this deck doesn't already deal with rather nicely. So I just chose to exclude it. So, first and foremost, we have to start with the one who enables this entire playstyle at all. So that's Yggdrasil. So, as you can see, breeding, your turn, Digimon can Digivolve. That's why we only have level 6s and a couple level 4s. No need to Digivolve because we can't, so we just play with what we can. Alright, and also, breeding, your turn, once per turn, when you play a Digimon card with Royal Knights and its traits, you may reduce its play cost by 4, and then, for each of this Digimon's Digivolution cards, reduce the play cost by an additional 1. Breeding, start of main phase, reveal the top card of your Digi-Egg deck, place that card and all your Digimon with Royal Knights and its traits under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution cards. So, turn 1, you hatch Yggdrasil 7d6. Then, you go from raising phase to main phase. So you reveal the top and take another Yggdrasil 70 and tuck it right under. Already, you can play a Royal Knight for a reduced cost of 5. So, this is already how this deck is going to be able to play these big, beefy things a little bit more quickly. So that's the main reason why I have Magnamon in there. So turn 1, if I have Magnamon, I can reduce his cost by 5, making him a 2 play cost. And effectively, he's a 2 play cost blocker. And all turns, when this Digimon will leave play, draw a card. And then you may play Veemon from your hand, or I could include Veemon just to add some a little bit more, speed. Jamming Veemon wouldn't hurt in this deck, but I feel like you want to have as many Royal Knights as possible. So there's no need to include it with this build. And we also have Omekamon, just simple, on play, draw 1, tuck a Royal Knight from your hand under Yggdrasil to help facilitate reducing the play cost and giving more targets for other Digimon to play off of. So that's simple. Now, the enablers in this deck are going to be Alphamon, Dynasmon, Gankumon, and finally, Omnimon. So, I actually should probably increase Dynasmon up to about 4 copies, because Dynasmon is what's going to let you mill through your deck. And you want to get your 1 copy of Omnimon almost as quickly as possible, because that's your win con with this deck. So, on play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 2 cards of Lucemon. Not working in this. I feel that that's going to come in in another pack or 2, that's going to come into play a little bit more. But out of 4 cards, look for 2 cards with Royal Knights and his traits, add them to hand, trash the rest. And then, if this is on the field, when you play another Digimon with Royal Knights in his traits, skipping the Lucemon, delete all your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. This helps from stopping your opponent from trying to flood the field just to ding you out before you can actually start amassing things under your Yggdrasil. So that's nice about him, but the real main thing is just him being able to look at 4 cards and then just keep going. So turn 1, Dynasmon is a 5-cost Digimon to play if your opponent doesn't have any anti-floodgate that stops from reducing play costs. So that's a nice facilitator. He would help you look through and get the exact pieces that you want. Another key is Gankumon on play. It allows you to play 1 Digimon card with Sistermon in its name from your trash, or 1 Digimon card with Royal Knights and traits from your Digivolution cards. I'm just going to start saying play 1 from Yggdrasil because that's really what it's playing from. So the reason why this is integral, because this allows you to play himself. Whether you play, as long as you don't play it by Purge of the Royal Knights, because if you play something by Purge of the Royal Knights, you don't get your on-play effects, but they do gain Rush. The reason why we run Gankumon at 4 is because when Gankumon is spawned to field, you take something else, another Royal Knight under Yggdrasil, and spawn it to the field and gain its on-play skill. So he helps by allowing you to start using some of these effects, not using your reduced play cost from Yggdrasil to still gain the benefits of all these Royal Knight Digimon effects. So really what you want to do is you want to, ideal first turn, you play Dynasmon, Dynasmon has his hit, you get Gankumon, and whatever other Royal Knight you get, you would hope you get Omnimon, because again, that's your win con, but grab any of the other ones. If you see a Dynasmon, you grab that one, because Dynasmon will then allow you to grab one from your trash when it's played. So there's also, might as well talk about the other one. Lord Knightmon skill. Opponent's turn, when the opponent Digimon attacks, for each of your Digimon Royal Knights in his traits and play, gain 1 memory. So this Digimon can help steal turn. And what I mean is, okay, so let's say, and I know I'm getting sidetracked. Let's say you have 6, 7 different name Royal Knights under Yggdrasil, and you use, you use Yggdrasil's effect, reduce the play cost to play Omnimon with its effect. Well, play Omnimon with Yggdrasil's effect, and then you use Omnimon's effect to spawn each other different name Royal Knight in Yggdrasil's trait and play, and then gain Rush. So you're using the reduced cost of Yggdrasil to prevent you from passing turn. And if you have 6 or 7 Royal Knights under Yggdrasil, you now have 7 mega level Digimon on the field with Rush. Now, unless your opponent has a whole bunch of blockers, which is plausible. However, if you have Gallantmon among them as well, if they're big blockers, big beefy guys, that is 13k DP or more, then you could just pop them with his effect. If they're less, you're not really concerned because most of these guys is 13k or above. So, not really an issue. But what I was saying is, let's say you play Omnimon, you swing, but amongst one of the swings you hit something like Breath of the Gods that prevents you from attacking anymore for the turn. If your opponent cannot delete all of your Royal Knights, or at least Lord Knightmon, if your opponent attacks once, if you have Lord Knightmon on the field and you have 6 or 7 Royal Knights, they're going to lose turn because you'll gain 7 memory when your opponent declares an attack. And then it's instantly your turn again. And not only that, even if they do declare an attack, if you have Craniumon on the field, 13k blocker. Gankumon, 13k blocker. It's not much that they can do to get over the vast defense of this deck. And even if they do swing past, more likely than not, they're going to run into a 13K, 12K. Most of your security is probably going to be a 11K plus mega. So not many things surviving when you try to attack into this security. So it's kind of a darned if you do, darned if you don't against this deck. And yes, I did add some yellow tamers, mostly so I can use reinforcing memory boost, but also additionally so I can then have, as we see, 11 targets. Well, 10 targets to use Kentorismon's effect if we are in a sticky situation. Because on play, if the total number of both players' security cards is 6 or less, gain 3 memory when this card is played, and reveal 1 card from your hand. If it's a yellow card, place it on the top of your security stack. So, this will also give you a bit of recover, so a little bit of a stall out. That's why I have max 4 copies of Magnamon, max 4 copies of Kentorismon, Yellow Tamers, and Reinforcing Memory Boost. I could also add something like Wyvern's Breath, but I kind of felt like it was overkill. Most of the things in this deck is going to be able to deal with most of your opponent's board state. And then, even if, going back to the previous example, we spawn Omnimon, let's say if we only had Omnimon inside of well, not inside of Yggdrasil, but we play Omnimon with Yggdrasil's effect. We could then just play all delete, return that same Omnimon to hand, and then delete your entire opponent's board state. So it's kind of a reset. And truthfully, your opponent can't afford a reset with this deck because your opponent's on the clock. They have to either build up a stack that can safely get over all these beefy Digimon, or get a whole bunch of small Digimon that have jamming. And pray that you don't have something like Craniamon on the field that will just block them at any given instance. Then again, I could also find a way to sneak Walt's End into play, because this deck does have a lot of high cost blockers that you could use with Walt's End. And if your opponent attacks while one of your Digimon is granted the effect of Walt's Ends, it's almost the same as a board wipe unless they have a super powerful Digimon on the field. So you could also splash this in as well. As you can see, a lot of the cards in this deck does have black inside of them. So you could definitely splash 1 or 2 in. Really, you would only be using it with Craniamon or Gankumon, so those are the only real targets you would want to use them on. However, you can also use it with Leopardmon as well, because it has the end of turn, trash the top of this. Wait, no. No. It's not this one. I think I'm looking for the other one. All right, we made a mistake. We need the other Leopardmon. Where are you at? This one. This is the one we need. We need this one. When you play another Digimon, all your Digimon with Royal Knights in their traits or green, gain block until the end of the opponent's turn. So this, Gankumon, or Craniamon would be the potential targets for activating Walt's End on. So that's another avenue. I'm going to continue with All Delete just because I like All Delete. It's lovely card art, and just the fact of, play Omnimon, use All Delete, board wipe. You don't have to worry about your opponent using something and possibly screwing up the qualifications needed to meet end walls, i.e., unless you have Craniamon on the field, you can't force your opponent to attack, so you can't suspend. So that's another reason why I like All Delete just a little bit more. So that is the very brief interaction of how I think this deck is going to be playing. And really, I think if my guesstimate is accurate, you're going to be seeing a lot of this deck. It might be kind of like how Mother Mother D Reaper was when it first came onto the scene. It was one of those decks that it was a humdinger to get around because it just... Once that win con came into the scene, i.e. Reaper, there was almost nothing you can do unless you were just blessed by your security stack being able to either withstand or stop your opponent from attacking. But for the most part, this is an OTK deck that has supreme great defenses and slight longevity. Ladies and gentlemen, I am ecstatic to play this deck. But let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments below if you think there should be some type of changes, some Royal Knights in here that I haven't included, or some different ratios, or maybe some other options or tamers, or no tamers at all. But let me know what you think the ideal build is, and I shall return again to talk about not only other decks and other playstyles that are going to be coming out of BT13, but I'm also going to be going over what decks and what deck builds and basic strategies of the decks I currently run. So I will thank you for tuning in, and until next time, ladies and gents, have a good one. Bye bye.